What's up guys, Joe with Tradger Farms. I'm a habitat specialist with Whitetail Habitat Solutions alongside Jeff Sturgis and the gang. Hope everyone is doing well. You guessed it, we are out at the property getting the mulcher, getting these trails going and cleared. It's working great. Ron's doing a phenomenal job. We had to push it a few days just to get a little electrical thing fixed for him, and it wasn't too long. The following weekend we were out here. The road is definitely be much more accessible, easier to clean things up. If I need to get my truck back here, for whatever reason, I want to get logs out, bring equipment, work on invasives, it's just going to be that much easier, as well as maybe throw the blade or something like that on the tractor to smooth things out and just maintain it. Hopefully when my son's riding around back here on a four-wheeler or something, it's not too jarring, even though we do want to make it a little challenging for him, of course. So that's looking good. That first turnaround is done. I'm going to give you some other footage, hopefully, here of Ron tearing it up. He's got a new machine, actually, this year. I don't know if it was new to him, at least. And this Bandit mulcher. And basically, what you can see he's doing in the background is working at the bottom of that tree to get it to fall. And once that's down, then he's going to go over and suck that into the machine and really start mulching it up a little better. And I wanted to show you guys, down here, it does leave a little debris. Not that can't be taken up with the mulcher, it's just more time, and you want to make sure you get your big stuff done. So a lot of times we will kind of get working, getting the other trees and paths or whatever you want to do, and then maybe come back over this on the way out or what have you, grind it up a little more, doing a lot of the stumps. He was nice enough to move this big sucker for me. Looks like he bit into it a little bit, but that's actually from a logging operation on the farm that was done probably 20, maybe even 30 years ago. But I'm gonna get a little footage of this for you guys. We'll get this other turnaround done, and then Ron will probably be back on his way, and we'll go from there. Hope you're having fun. Wanted to show you guys real quick too the nice kind of turnaround. If you guys are like me, you're having fun with any equipment and things like that, and you just want an easier way. Now, mind you, this looks very open. However, come spring, things start filling in, or some of these trees will now have that sunlight they never had before. So don't think it's just going to be, always like this as far as, manicured. Branches will start to come in. Of course, other dead ash or trees will fall. But, for now, especially in the winter, this is a great way to get it going. I'll probably get some of those other logs out of here just for fun. Brush piles, you know, that you want to leave. Great for the rabbits and other habitat. So that is, you know, pretty cool. And as long as the deer can get through, especially in your main areas, you can see I have a down tree back there. It's actually helped funnel the deer a little bit in front of my camera that I have over there in a water hole. But anyway, does not seem to be deterring deer whatsoever, except when the mulchers may be running. But other than that, no, this is awesome. And I guess my whole point with that too is just don't hesitate, especially in the winter time, to make it, you know, slightly bigger than probably you're envisioning, because it will close in a little bit. And I don't know, if you took a vehicle down here, you don't want to just scratch it up and stuff like that. But that looks pretty dang good. So really happy with what he's doing. All right, we are in the back here, the last turnaround, if you will. Ron's done a great job. Looks pretty dang good. We do have the stump, and of course the mulcher can chip away at this, but it's just something that would take that much extra time. He asked me to come back and take it with the chainsaw. The inner part of these are so solid, guys. I can just tell my chainsaw is about to start a fire. So I'm giving it a quick break. It's a nice saw. I don't want to, you know, do any damage. I am most of the way around this stump. It is just that inner part. Even with leverage, it's hard to get through that, running it so hard. But anyway, wanted to mention that. So if you guys are hiring a mulcher or plan on it, that you can kind of get ready, get your stumps, you know, low to the ground, kind of get that situated so that they can move quickly and efficiently and ultimately save you money as well, because you can just do more since you had done that. So as you guys had seen, I did quite a bit with my tractor I talked about and my grapple, and moved a lot of that out of the way. That stump is one of the last things I need to do. And then Ron is finishing up kind of this last bit here in the back. So things are looking good, dropping trees. Yeah, so we're gonna get wrapped up here and start packing up. It's been a longer day than I thought it would be, but that's good. We got a lot done. All right, guys, we are back in the dungeon. I just wanted to go over a few key points that I think will help you if you are considering getting a mulcher out to your property. The first one is, as you could probably tell in some of the footage, that the mulcher does not suck in an 8-inch tree in 5 seconds and you're done and moving on. They're amazing machines. They're very expensive. They're very heavy. There's a ton of good attributes, but they're not necessarily miracle workers. They're only so big, you know, and on skid steers. So if you're gonna have a lot of bigger trees, 6-8 inches and above, feel free to use the chainsaw and, you know, cut them down, give them a head start, move them off to the side. It just depends on how much work you're gonna have to, you know, you want done that day with the mulcher. If you think you have a lot to do and you're not going to be getting it all done in one day, then maybe you do kind of want to get a head start on some of that stuff so you know you have enough time, and then maybe he or she can go back over that material if you have it off to the side and you do want it gone. You could also leave some of that material in piles throughout the property or so on, and those could be like your rabbits or something that the you know, other animals could utilize, even deer from time to time, depending on where you're going to put it. So bear that in mind. Same thing with the stumps. The higher the stumps you leave, you know, I had some that maybe you and I, if you hadn't seen one off the bat, would think that the mulcher could get rid of rather quickly, and some, depending on how long the stump has been there and if it's pretty fresh, you know, it would take a long time for them to chip away at it if it's a 3-foot tall stump, pretty freshly cut. So bear in mind that too. I think I mentioned it earlier, but flush cut those or even fell them, you know, like a logger, as low to the ground as you could. And that will also speed things up. And then what else I like to use the mulcher for, a couple things. One, of course, are access trails. That's easy. We generally want those a little bit longer, not longer, but a little bit wider. We don't want food on them. We don't want deer, you know, sitting there and munching and browsing on our access trails. And, you know, they don't really like that highway effect. You know, they don't like to stick their heads out, their bodies out, and they feel exposed. They're on this big kind of human-like access, so they're gonna, you know, move across and get off of it, because we don't want to be bumping into these deer as we are walking and accessing our tree stands. With that being said, you know, when it comes to travel corridors for deer, you could simply tell a good operator what you're looking for, what you're looking to do, maybe show them a map connecting 2 points of a travel corridor and say, hey, I want one width of this mulcher you know, kind of a meandering path, no 90-degree turns or anything like that, but kind of connecting these points. You can go around some big trees, it's perfectly fine. We're just making a deer trail. And then that you can even leave some little foliage, just kind of leave a path of least resistance for those deer, but it definitely opens it up and gets it going so that in the springtime, summer, it'll fill in a little bit, but the deer should be using it very heavily if set up appropriately. So those are the two main ones. People do sometimes use them for invasives and other stuff, meaning they'll get a lot of it mulched or maybe leave some of it above ground and then come through with the herbicide and spray. I'd say that's pretty, you know, extravagant, pretty, you know, big operations, if you will. The rest of us are probably spot spraying or something to that degree. So I just wanted to touch on some of those other things, stumps around the house, etc. I had a couple around the barn I had them get rid of, but as long as you guys know that, you can prep, whether you have someone coming out for a half day, a full day, or multiple days, you can kind of gauge you know, a little bit better on how fast they can get going and being ahead of the game. I spent 6, maybe 7 days clearing a lot of the big trees and stuff before he got there, which is why, you know, by 4 p.m. we did spend most of a full day. We were looking pretty dang good, so was very happy.